Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, John. Great to be here.
It's great to have you. Let's get started with Georgia. We just heard from Governor Brian Kemp. Tell us how the Grassroots was activated in Georgia and what it did to push that law to reality.
Well, Georgians across the state recognize the importance of getting a strong voter integrity bill to Governor Kemp's desk. And so the first thing that they did is actually put together a list of proposals that they wanted to see the state of Georgia tackle. A lot of this was based on the chaos and the concerns coming out of November. But some of these issues were also things that Georgians have wanted for over a decade: strengthening absentee balloting, taking the private influence and private money out of their elections. And so they put together a coalition letter, sent it to the Georgia legislature. They helped then craft the bills that ultimately made their way to Governor Kemp's desk with an incredible amount of support from grassroots activists all across the Peach State, eager for the governor to sign this and eager to restore trust and security to the ballot box. And I think that was accomplished in a real way, and the progressive left knows it. They've noticed it. And now we are in the position to defend this bill with all of our might and not allow the progressive left's agenda to smear the very good people of Georgia's work to get this done to secure the election.
Yeah, that's a really important point. Farmers will always tell you things always best grow from the ground up, not from the top down. And I think the way Georgia came together really is a political version of the great farming exercise. Now, as this thing has played out, there's been a lot of misinformation about the law, what it does and doesn't do. Even President Biden has gotten some Pinocchios recently and fact checkers for some false claims about the law. What are the biggest misperceptions and misinformation about what the law does?
So unfortunately, the progressive left has taken this as their mantle, led by activist Stacey Abrams, to do a smear campaign on the bill. And they're calling the bill racist. They're saying that the bill is voter suppression, that it doesn't allow people to get to the ballot. That couldn't be further from the truth. When you look at the tenets of the bill, it actually adds additional Saturdays, 2 Saturdays, in fact, that you can vote, optional Sundays. So if you want to do souls to the polls, which is very popular in communities across the state, you can still do that. The left has also said that you can't give out water to people standing in line. Well, actually, you can't, as a campaign, give out water, but the election officials that are put there from the county and the state can still give out water. And this provision just simply follows the electioneering rules that are part of the state and are frankly in other states across the country. So there's been a lot of misnomers about it. They've claimed that the bill will make it harder to vote. That's not true. It makes it easier to vote and harder to cheat. John, that was the goal here. Easier to vote, harder to cheat. And it's a grassroots driven effort. And I'm really proud of the work that they did in Georgia to get this done.
It is remarkable. And that's something, listen, that mantra, that goal of this law is something I think lots of people share. Our polling has showed time and again, easier, safer voting is a winner. There's no doubt about it here. We see that all the time in our polls at Just the News. Now, you have a big victory like this and everybody thinks, well, you're going to rest on your laurels, you're done. But you guys are far from done. You're activating the grassroots in lots of other places. And also, you're fighting here in Washington against the Democratic election law, H.R. 1. Tell us where your battle goes next.
So the reality is the battle to secure our election is on 2 different stages or 2 different playing fields. Federally, we have to block the Corrupt Politicians Act, or H.R. 1 S1, with all of our might. We're going to continue to do that by targeting and working with vulnerable and moderate Democrat senators like Senator Manchin, Senator Sinema of Arizona, Hassan of New Hampshire, Tester, Montana. Keep the pressure high on them for the federal, blocking that federal overreach of our election. And then as we turn to the states, we recognize that Iowa, Georgia have passed significant election integrity reform packages, and we want to use that momentum and take the fight to Arizona, to Florida, and to Texas next. They are all moving forward with similar election integrity provisions. And just in Arizona, we saw this last week, actually led by Representative Jake Hoffman and then signed by Governor Ducey, a fabulous bill which kicks the special interests, kicks Mark Zuckerberg money out of the state of Arizona. That is a grassroots-driven initiative as well. And I'm proud to say that the good people of Arizona, of Texas, of Florida will not be deterred will not be deterred from the progressive left's smear campaign to intimidate us in how they are responding to the Georgia law. So if anything, I think this has emboldened Americans across the country to get these reforms done at the state level. We have a short time period, all in these legislative sessions this spring, and we're going to do that all with the backdrop of the Washington, D.C. fight here around H.R. 1, the Corrupt Politicians Act. So it's two different playing fields here, but we're up to the task because our country depends on it, John.
Yeah, this is such an important fight, Jessica. It is, as many people have said, even on this show, the civil rights battle of our time. And it turns out that making elections more secure is not only popular, it protects the right, a very important right we got from our amazing founding fathers. Jessica, I can't thank you enough for, one, your partnership on this program, helping us educate the American public on where things stand. And we look forward to the rest of the show. We've got some more big guests coming up, including Congressman Jim Banks of the great state of Indiana, right after this commercial break.